Hi, hello there, and a massive welcome to the channel. The addiction today is speed farming finally explained, and this is so much more than just using a speed set. So go grab that coffee, please get comfy and let's rush into this. Speed farming in World of Warcraft is not what you may be thinking and does not require the use of a speed set. I would like to show to you just how differently I look at and approach farming on a daily basis in WoW as a dedicated farmer who specializes in reagent farming. And I am sure you have never looked at farming how I do. This video will be aimed mostly towards feral farmers and helping you to further optimize farming, but a lot of this information can be used on any class in game, just at a much slower pace. The first area that needs a brief glance over I feel, and that would be our feral skills we use primarily as a feral farmer. There is only 5 that we need to concern ourselves with, and they are Moonfire, Thrash, Swipe, Soothe and Lunar Inspiration. Any farmer worth their weight in gold will know and already use Soothe in their farming rotations. We use Soothe only as a way to pull aggro from anywhere up to 40 yards away, making this skill extremely handy for starting pulls or trying to gain aggro from any stubborn mobs not wanting to follow us to their deaths. The main reason, however, farmers like myself use this skill is that it's a passive way to gain aggro without causing the mob any damage, which is key to mass pulling in certain dungeons and raids, and this is a must-have for anyone calling themselves a farmer. Moonfire can be used as a ranged aggro pull just like Soothe, but using this skill will damage and most likely one-shot most things we farm, which is both a good and bad idea. It just depends on the circumstances at the time of farming and using common sense. Lunar Inspiration is a passive skill that once learned will allow ferals to cast Moonfire while in kitty form, which is extremely overpowered, but yet one amazing skill we must have and use as a feral farmer in WoW. Both Thrash and Swipe is all that is needed to kill most if not all bosses and mobs up to at least BFA content, before we start to lose on DPS and start to struggle in certain farming locations. Thrash works as a coned attack, coming out of you towards the targets, where Swipe is a full 360-degree skill with an 8-yard radius surrounding you. Both skills are perfect for farming, Swipe just being slightly better with mass pulls due to its radius. These are the 5 main skills we use on a daily basis as a feral farmer and will make your life so much easier if you use them correctly when farming. On screen now is just a small example of how to use Soothe to pull targets to you, for you to then use Swipe and simply profit in most cases. I have swiftly paused the footage for a moment so you can see Soothe in action for yourself and why farmers use this skill when farming. The target I have highlighted is around 35 yards away, as I am still in range to use Moonfire or Soothe. Using Moonfire here at this particular static farming location is not a good idea, as it will just involve you having to move to loot afterwards. Where if you use Soothe instead, the target and any other mobs within that group will come running to you, making it faster in most cases and easier to loot and skin mobs. Soothe is a great all-round skill and has many useful uses, and any dedicated true reagent farmer uses this on a daily basis like myself. On screen now is Firelands, and this will be my next location to help me describe and explain NPC routes, and just how important they are for any player trying to speed farm. There are many raids and dungeons in game, where NPCs will not just stand still waiting to be killed. A lot of different types of mobs and bosses in game will instead just walk around the instance following a set path or route as they go, and just repeating the process once they have reached the end. This is known as NPC routing, and something I guarantee you have never thought about even considering to pay attention to while farming. Jumping into the Black Temple, as this is the perfect raid to show to you just how important NPC routing actually is to a dedicated speed farmer, and how to best utilize this in-game mechanic to further improve our farming run times. The moment you first enter a dungeon or raid and the timer starts. At this point, all NPCs at that exact same moment will start to follow any routes they have been given and will not stop until you leave or have killed them. This is extremely important to understand as a speed farmer in WoW who wants to optimize and limit as much time as possible farming inside dungeons and raids. Starting Black Temple, you will always see the same 2 water elementals following a set route. If you are speed farming here and miss your chance to kill these 2 water elementals before they pass, meaning this will just basically mess up any chances of you doing a decent sub 1 minute 45 seconds run time, and this is how I see and approach speed farming in WoW. There is even a form of speed skinning within the first room. Once I have killed the mobs and started to skin the first one, the moment I finish I will instantly use the mother's skinning knife toy, which does not share a global cooldown timer with the skinning skill, which means you are able to chain skinning together, which will speed up overall run times. We may be still only on the second group of mobs within Black Temple, but this is how I see speed farming. If I am able to kill and skin anything on the third group coming up next and before the next set of water elementals that are coming down the path to this location, then I can already tell that this run could be a sub 1 minute 40 second run, but only if I do not make any mistakes with the rest of the farm. Honestly, you should only really be concerning yourself with NPC's routes because you do not want to waste any time while farming. But paying close attention to them can really help you to optimize your own farming routes, which will only give you more time, which in the long term just means more potential profits in the end. The next way speed farmers can further improve run times, and that is with skips. In certain raids and dungeons, we are able to use skips, or shortcuts as some may call them. Zul'Gurub is a perfect example, as there are a couple of small skips within this farm that can dramatically improve farming times here. The first skip, located right at the start of the farm, allows us to moonfire and gain aggro on the crocodiles below while mid-air, which means by the time we land, the crocs are already moving towards me, ready to be killed in a nice tidy pile, making skinning them faster. After killing the second group of bats, I will always jump through the hut as it places you within range to exit the water and move on to the third pack of bats, as well as putting you in range to loot and skin the giant turtle without moving, further saving time while farming, and which is the whole point to speed farming. While I am running up the path, I will be spamming moonfire with the sole intentions of refreshing my speed food buff. Using files and food buffs will further increase overall speeds and run times. Using a rank 3 alacrity file will give you a further 10% speed increase for 1 whole hour, and it's the main reason why players who know how to farm use them. Further, using Soothe to gain aggro from the trolls ahead, but not actually killing them just yet. Instead, I run up the hill and kill the next pack of trolls, by which time the first group I use Soothe on have come up the path to meet their deaths. Again, this is just saving even more time when farming. The last skip I will use when using the speed farming route will be to simply jump over this wall to the mobs below for extra loot and leather, saving yet more time not having to run back down the path, and again spamming moonfire to refresh my food speed buff like we should be doing on our way out of the dungeon. Using the Feral's power shift technique mentioned in a previous video between groups of mobs will only further improve your overall run times with a nice fat speed boost every time you use this. Cutting corners, mass pulls, using certain toys to teleport you closer to a farming location. The whole point to speed farming is to spend as little time as possible at one farming location before moving on to the next, and it's such a bad idea to just limit yourself to only a few reagents, when there are many out there just waiting to be farmed. So saving time whenever possible is the key, and the whole damn point to speed farming, and using a speed set will only allow you to maximize farming, if used correctly. The whole point to this video was to make you aware that any form of farming in-game does not need a speed set to improve on run times. Speed sets are just the best way to push a farming feral to its limits, as they are best suited to this role and have been the masters of this for years and years. Just using what I have shown you will help improve run times, which in the long run will give you more time to farm and make gold, which is the whole reason why we do this madness. So this was just a small example of how differently I see farming, and how using these small simple tricks will help you out a lot with farming, but without a speed set. I do hope you enjoyed and found this useful, and thank you for watching. Please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, help this little channel to grow, I would be most grateful. So until the next one, and like normal farmers, stay away from that one super crazy person and stay safe out there.